Hello, my friends. Today, I want to discuss why the 9 days. We just started today. Today's Rosh Chodesh Av, and we have 9 days of mourning. They are part of the 3 weeks. So, what are those 9 days? How can we use it productively? How can we make a difference? Because, as we know, we're here to try to all make our own difference in this world. The moment we forget about that, then why are you here? God wants you to be here to make the world a better place. If you don't make the world a better place, then you're missing out. What can I say? Okay, 9 days. So, during the 9 days, those are days that are very difficult for the Jewish people because a lot of terrible things happen. And on the last day, on the 9th day, we have the Tisha B'Av, which is the destruction of the temple. So really what we're trying to do, we're not trying just to remember. In Judaism, we don't try to just remember. We try to actively reconnect to those moments and try to fix it. And so the first question we ask is 1-9. Why 9 days? And 9 always represents this idea of pregnancy. 9 days is 9 months. And that means we are trying to go through a process and give birth to something, which is going to be number 10. 10 is always number of completion. The temple had 10 miracles happening constantly. 10 represents the completion of the world. So we have to connect to that idea that there's something missing, and we need to give birth to that thing that is missing. So you have to try to ask yourself, what am I missing? What are we missing as the Jewish people, as a human being? There's something lacking to the world. And it's no coincidence that Tisha B'Av and the 9 days, the 3 weeks, always happen in the summer. Summertime, people feel good. They go to vacation and try to enjoy the world as much as they can. And so this pregnancy, those 9 days, happens exactly during that time when people have a tendency to indulge in pleasure more than any other time of the year. So that's why during the 9 days we cannot eat meat. We cannot also wear fresh garments. It has to be garments that are at least not freshly laundered. We cannot listen to music, play music, and things like that. So we cannot swim for pleasure. So all those things is to refrain us, is to, hey, wake up, careful, you're in the world of pleasure. Yes, it's beautiful and God wants you to have pleasure, but it is something missing. And the real thing, the real mourning of those 9 days, it has to be something that bothers us. Does it bother you that we don't love each other? Does it really bother you that there's there's a mosquito there? I'm trying to catch it. Okay. Does it bother you that there's no unity, there's peace, that there are terrorist attacks, that people are being stabbed, that people are war in the world, that there are people who are sick? All those things has to bother you. Are you bothered that people are not connected and not inspired and not spiritual? Does that meaning we say, oh yeah, it bothers me, but how much does it bother you? Does it really bother you inside? So much? Bother you so much that there is something there in your heart, in your stomach, and that you need to give birth to that thing that's going to change that? So that's what you have to ask yourself. Why do I want to be pregnant with this year? I have 9 days to give forth, to give birth to something new about myself, to something new that a new way I'm going to act to make a difference. And if you don't do that, then you don't. It's like you don't need to mourn. It's like, what do you do the 9 days? Try to connect to that. Try to see that, to connect with to what bothers you the most. And so we're trying to go from a little bit of an emotional thing to an intellectual thing. It has to start here, because you have to start to think. the thoughts process you're gonna have as what's gonna bring you emotions. So this is connecting to the 3 weeks. Obviously 9 days is within the 3 weeks, and I want to remind everybody how Kabbalistically it works. So this is the human beings. It corresponds also to how the world works. So we have 10 days minus 1, which is 9 days. 10 is completion of the human being, completion of the world. But the 3 weeks correspond to a 10-week process. We know we have 3 weeks, and then we have 7 weeks of consolations. So it's a total of 10 weeks also before we reach Rosh Hashanah. And Rosh Hashanah will have also a new 10. So we have the 10, and basically we have the 7 weeks after, but we start with the 3 weeks. Obviously, this is the head. So that we see that the 3 weeks correspond to the head, which means that we need to change something in our brain. We need to rewire our brain, and this is what we learned today, that by if something bothers you enough in your mind, then you bring it to your emotions. Those emotions are gonna bring a strength and energy that then is gonna go back to your brain and enable you to actually rewire your brain and act in a way that's gonna be different. So you need to really have a whole rebirth of yourself during that time. So ask yourself, what am I gonna do? What's gonna be the new me in 9 days? What is the tool that I'm gonna bring out for myself? The behavior I'm gonna bring for myself, the action I'm gonna do that is gonna now make a difference. It can be spreading, awareness about loving each other. It can be, just writing things on your Facebook page or on internet and try to influence people to have a stronger awareness and love each other more, or speak about it more. Do an action that's gonna join the community together. Find something unique for yourself that you know you can do, and B'ezrat Hashem, if we do that, then we will reach from 9 to 10 and fix the world, and we won't have another 9 days next year, or we'll have 9 days of celebration, and we won't have to mourn anymore, and be all in a world of pleasure, happiness, and love. I love you all, and I encourage all of you to send me also the new ideas of what you decide to do. All the best.